Our next speaker is Isam Shukri, the member of Political Bureau of the Left Worker Communist Party of Iraq. The title of his speech is Iraqi Workers' Protests, End of an Era. Welcome, Isam.
Good afternoon, comrades, and happy May Day. Due to language barriers, I would like to speak in two languages, and I will start with the English for Comrade John Clark, because I believe he has some commitments. I'm sorry, yeah. That would be the shortest version, though, and if you don't mind, I'll speak in Arabic to address my speech to the workers of Iraq. Comrades, thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to speak to you, and happy May Day. I'd like to be brief as much as possible, but first a word to the Iranian workers. On behalf of the people of Iraq and the working class of Iraq, I extend my congratulations to the workers of Iran on May Day. The recent struggles of the Iranian workers have shown, in the deepest and saddest circumstances, that your struggles for a better world have but escalated and become more and more humanistic and refined. You are the salvation and hope for the whole of Iranian society. Your party, the Worker Communist Party of Iran, has proven yet again that the struggles for a better world in Iran is not only possible, but is now raging, strong, revolutionary, and politically vivid. What does May Day say? What does it really say to us? I think May Day is the negation of capitalism, as Comrade John has just mentioned. In its true meaning and symbolism, it's the negation and protest against capitalism. We may say it is the day of solidarity. Yes, that's true. That can be, but in my view, that's incomplete. At these times, it is more than that. It's more than solidarity. It's time of negation. It's time of socialism as an alternative, as Comrade John mentioned that. And the negation requires protest and attacks. The yellow vests, the workers of Iran, the protest in Algeria, the protest in Sudan, the protest everywhere in the Middle East, which was plagued by political Islam, now is raging with Europe and hopefully very soon in North America. Comrades, capitalism lives in crises. Crisis after crisis. The rates of crises became intense. Almost daily they are facing crises. It is not easy to overcome these crises anymore. So what do? They go to the very ultra-right. They try to impose the most barbaric measures. Austerity everywhere. Now the World Bank is ruling behind the scenes. And I just mentioned the yellow vests. What do they do to the yellow vests in France? The capital of civility, right? Paris is the capital of civility. Look what they did to the protesters. They dragged them from their hair with a very violent response to that. Why is that? Because they're in crisis. They know this is the last bastion of capitalism in Europe, and they don't want it to happen. Even the destruction of Notre Dame, which is unfortunate, quite unfortunate, could not cover the Yellow Vest protest. 2-3 days, they shed some crocodile tears, and they collected billions of dollars to remodel it, and then the Yellow Vest came back again. That is the fruit of bankruptcy of capitalism, comrades. The ruling class would do anything to stay in power. The most right-wing and fascist applications. Look at the fascist parties springing up like mushrooms in Europe, in Italy, in Germany, in Austria, in France, and everywhere. Barbarity continues with mass killing of innocent people as a result of the moral, cultural, and social policies of the bourgeoisie. I mean relativism, or the cultural relativism. We saw what happened in New Zealand. And this woman dressed in Muslim hijab and shed some tears in a big stage of acting. That is the result of culturalism. She should be condemned, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, for doing that. This is the cultural relativism in its most grotesque form. Enough labeling people by their religions, enough of that. And then they answered in Sri Lanka. Hundreds of people have died because of these stupid falsehoods called religions. Things that have not been proven, nobody agree on them. It's just mullahs and some stupid religious people spread the word into the masses, and then they kill each other, and they gather backstage laughing at these massacres. But this is also an indication how barbarity is prevailing, comrades. Also the nationalistic powers, Russia, China, the US, France, Europe, Brexit, this is all a form of crisis. Whatever you see around you in political scene is a form of crisis. Women's rights are under attack. Gays and lesbians are under attack. Transgenders are under attack. They are being prosecuted and killed. Brunei, this criminal billionaire, has issued or has started implementing the Sharia law. Why does he do that? Nobody knows. It's just a form of cultural relativism and backwardness and attack on women. Everybody is bragging about attacking women and transgenders and gays and lesbians. Last but not least, the attack on the environment, as very correctly Comrade John has mentioned. Environment is not a hoax, as Trump said. Environment is the action of 200 years of capitalistic, since the Industrial Revolution, of pollution, of destruction of the Amazon forest, of desertation, of polluting of waters, and all this has created havoc and created extremities. And the last show of these extremities were witnessed in Iran itself, unfortunately, and I extend my condolences to all the people of Iran for that. Unfortunately, we're helpless to be able to show our solidarity with the people of Iran. But this catastrophe is also the fruit and the outcome of the capitalist policies and disregard for the human value and for the planet. What do they care about? What do the capitalists care about? Profit. If it's profitable, it's good. If it's not profitable, it's bad. And science is bad, and it's a hoax, as Mr. Trump said. Because the oil barons negate science because it's against their interests. Comrades, I will pass through Iraq very quickly, but I say that in Iraq, as you've just seen in the video clip, the protests are raging. Society of Iraq, which this is probably a piece of information that most of you don't know. In my view, in my last visit, I saw that the situation of Iraq has been normalized to a certain degree. And I'm not speaking about the political power, I'm speaking about the streets. It's more safe, women are going out. As you saw, the one who's leading the protest in Tahrir Square was an unhijab, unveiled woman. That on its own is a big thing. Probably we see it here, it's normal, okay. The women in Canada have been emancipated partially for many years now. In Iraq, this is a bombshell. This is something really fantastic. A woman leading, unveiled, leading the masses. So I want to look at these small instances and really get the value out of them. Society is now not divided on Shia, Sunni, Yazidi, Masihi, means Christian, but based on division between the exploiters and the exploited. So people now know who their enemy is. If they don't know 100%, they know 70% who their enemies are: the government, the Ayatollah, the mullahs, the sheikhs, and now animosity against religion has grown so much that I believe secularism became the norm in Iraq after it was a big sin a few years ago. So comrades, I don't want to make my speech so long, so I'll cut it short and I'll say, with our struggles, with the struggle of the Worker Communist Party of Iran, with the struggle of the Left Worker Communist Party of Iraq, throughout 14 years for us, or 15 years for us, and many more years for the Worker Communist Party of Iran, we are witnessing a change in the scene. And I'm witnessing that firsthand in Iraq. We're all seeing Mr. Ismail Bakhshi, how he spoke out. This is not a small incident. He knows what he's doing, and all the workers of Iraq know what they're doing. They are politically charged, they are aware, they are socialistic in their views, and things will no more be at the hands of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So to finish my speech, I say down with the Islamic Republic of Iran, because this is the main political Islam force in the Middle East, and long live MayDay, and long live the working class around the world and their solidarity. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, now you have to bear with me. I'm going to speak to my comrades in Iraq about MayDay. I don't know which camera would I be using. This one. رفاقي عمال وعاملات العراق، أهنئكم بيوم العمال العالمي في الأول من أيار. يوم العمال العالمي أيها الرفاق والرفيقات هو يوم نفي، والنفي هنا هو نفي الرأسمالية، نفي الاستغلال من قبل الأقلية للأغلبية الساحقة من الجماهير. هذا اليوم هو يوم إظهار قدرة وقوة الطبقة العاملة ومنعتها على صعيد كل العالم. رفاقي ورفيقاتي، الرأسمالية اليوم في العام 2019 تعاني من أزمات كبيرة. لم يعد من السهل اليوم أن تتجاوز الرأسمالية هذه الأزمات الكبرى، لذا تلجأ إلى أكثر صيغ التنظيم والسياسة بربرية ورجعية وإهانة للإنسانية، من الإرهاب الديني إلى الإرهاب الطائفي إلى القتل الجماعي مثلا ما حدث في نيوزيلندا وسريلانكا مؤخرا، إلى الحروب والتهديد بشنها، إلى استعراض القدرات التدميرية للدول القومية روسيا وغيرها والاتحاد الأوروبي وأمريكا طبعا، إلى تطوير أسلحة الإبادة الشاملة، إلى التجويع والإفقار وسياسات التقشف. والآن التقشف يطبق في الشرق الأوسط وفي العراق أيضا بأوامر من البنك الدولي وصندوق النقد الدولي. وهناك ظاهرة بروز الأحزاب اليمينية المتطرفة في أوروبا مثلا، وظهور حركة النازية الجديدة سموها نيوناتسي، والتفوق الأبيض وغيرها من حركات اليمين المتطرف التي تقف ضد المهاجرين وتميز ضد المواطنين السود أو المهاجرين العرب أو من الأصول المسلمة. هذه كلها السياسات اليمينية هو نتيجة لإفلاس الطبقة البرجوازية، ولكن الطبقة العاملة هي الطبقة الأكثر تضرراً رفاقي. الطبقة العاملة محرومة من كل شيء، محرومة من فرص عمل في العراق، محرومة من الاستشفاء، محرومة من المدارس اللائقة، محرومة من المساكن، محرومة من الطرقات والخدمات، محرومة من المياه النظيفة، وكل هذا والبرجوازية تصرخ بأنها هي على حق والاشتراكيين والعمال على باطل. الرأسمالية تبغي اعتصار آخر فلس من جيب العامل في العراق وفي كل أنحاء العالم. آخر فلس إذا بإمكانها تحصله كربح راح تحصله، راح تجر جر حتى لو خلقت الدمار للأطفال وللنساء ولكل الجماهير. ولضيق وقتي رفاقي ورفيقاتي أود أن أعرج على قضية العراق. ومن الناحية السياسية هناك تصورات عديدة الآن تصدر داخل الطبقة العاملة العراقية من الأحزاب المدعية بالاشتراكية أو من الأحزاب القومية تحديداً والأحزاب الوطنية. يجب أن نعي بوضوح وبوعي أن هذه الأحزاب لا تمثل مصالح الطبقة العاملة، وإنما هي تجليات تمثل مصالح فئات أخرى. وعليكم وعلى العمال والعاملات وخاصة الكوادر العمالية وخاصة الرفاق من قادة العمال وقائدات العمال أن يعوا من التصورات الوطنية الجديدة المغلفة والقومية المغلفة بالفاشية الناعمة لكي تدمر الطبقة العاملة برأيي. بعدين عجزوا بالناحية الإسلامية السنة والشيعة، الآن صاروا وطنيين وغير وطنيين أو قوميين. هذه الميول هي ميول لا تريد للطبقة العاملة التوحد أن تتحول إلى جسد واحد، وإنما تحاول أن تبث السموم القومية داخل الطبقة العاملة من أجل تفتيتها بوسيلة أخرى. الاحتجاجات العمالية مثل ما نرى في العراق تتصاعد، لذلك علينا رفاقي ورفيقاتي أن نصعد من هذه الاحتجاجات. لم يعد هناك من وسيلة غير وسيلة تصعيد الاحتجاجات. ممكن لتصعيد هذه المواجهة الطبقية بين حفنة من اللصوص، وأنتم تعرفون حفنة من اللصوص الطائفيين القابضين لمليارات الدولارات من الأجور، وبين شعب محروم ومستلب الإرادة ومميز ضد الطائفية والدينية وحقوق المرأة. ثانياً، علينا بوضوح الدفاع عن المواطنة، علينا الدفاع عن المواطنة، علينا أن نقف ونتدخل في النضال من أجل العلمانية، من أجل فصل الدين عن الدولة. نعم، فصل الدين عن الدولة. أنتم رأيتم ما عمل الدين في تدخله في حياة المجتمع. علينا الآن أن نقطع دابر الدين. الدين يظل دين شأن شخصي في داخل قلبك، في داخل ضميرك، إذا كنت متدين أو غير متدين، لكن يجب قطع دابره من التغلغل في حياة الناس وخاصة النساء والأطفال، لأنه سبب الدمار والويلات للجماهير. يجب علينا أن نناضل ضد الإعدام، يجب علينا أن نناضل من أجل حقوق البشر، عدم استقطاع حقوق البشر مكتسباتهم، المتقاعدين، العاجزين، العمال، توفير فرص العمل للعمال، توفير كل مستلزمات حياة كريمة، المساكن، الصحة. طبعا أنا أعرف جيدا أن هذه السلطة عاجزة عن تنفيذ هذا، فلا مناص من الاحتجاج وتصعيد الاحتجاج من أجل الوصول إلى غاياتنا من خلال حركة ثورية. وأنا أدعو قادة العمال خاصة إلى الانضمام إلى حزبنا، انضمام إلى الميل الاشتراكي داخل الطبقة العاملة، وهذا اللي احنا نمثله ونريد نقويه، لأن الاشتراكية هي الحل بالنسبة للعراق. عاش نضال الطبقة العاملة العراقية، عاش نضال الطبقة العاملة الإيرانية، عاش نضال الطبقة العاملة في كل المنطقة وفي كل العالم. وهنيئا لكم يوم الأول من أيار وعاشت الاشتراكية. وشكرا. Thank you, Congress.